Hey everybody, welcome back. If you've never been here before, my name is Lou, and this is the rural world. Today we're out here at a friend of mine, farm field, trying to fix some drainage issues. So what's going on here, as you can see, we got a big washout, big erosion problem. So I'm down in here now, and I'm 6 foot. And we're almost up to my waist here, so basically what's going on, and I know it's hard to see with this camera, doesn't do it justice, but there's quite a bit of fall, and my hat just blew off. There's quite a bit of fall from this field. Probably from where I'm standing up that way, you're looking at 20 foot of fall to that tree line. So what happens is the water gets to rolling through here, some tile lines get plugged up, the water has nowhere to go, it finds a little divot or a tile hole in the ground, and then you get this, and essentially it's just a huge washout. That this thing goes for over 100 yards. Back down around the bend here where you see the cab of that tractor. And so the goal is, we're kind of pushing off all this topsoil and get that out of the way, get down to good clay, take the clay, push it back in, and then we'll recover it with the topsoil. So I'm going to be running this D6 dozer here for a while. Give these guys a hand. They're out here working hard every day. Farming's a hard living. You got to be an equipment operator, you got to be a mechanic, you got to be a soil scientist, an agronomist, a herdsman. You got to be everything when you're a farmer. All right, I'm gonna give it a try. It's been a minute since I've been on a dozer, so we'll see if I remember how to run it. So we're getting there. We got all the topsoil pushed off. Now we're gonna bring in some clay, fill in this ditch, and then we'll bring the topsoil back in over the top of that. Yeah, the old Dozer runs good. Runs like a top. Old D6. I'm not sure what year it is. It's probably 1970s era. Just guessing. Without looking at the serial number and trying to figure it out. But I know they got a rebuilt motor in it. new undercarriage. Everything's pretty tight. She runs good. And we got their case 305 Magnum with the big pull type grader box on the back. And man, that thing does a heck of a job. Move a lot of soil with that in a hurry. It's kind of like a little mini pan. Does a real nice job. Heavy duty. Heck of a nice setup. You can drag a lot more dirt with them wings on there than you can push it with the dozer. With the flat blade like that's on that D6, you lose some material coming off the side. So the dozer can do some pushes once you get some windrows established, and then you kind of keep the dirt in between them. It definitely helps. They improved that ditch quite a bit too. There were some plugged up tile lines, and they found those, fixed those, and then they reshaped this ditch so it's not sitting there and saturating the sides. Everything they got pushed back here was all just a muddy mess. And once that dries out, they'll incorporate that into the field, and big improvement. That's the thing when you're farming. You need water, but not too much water. When you have too much, that's no good. When you have not enough, that's no good. There's a fine line. You can't fight Mother Nature, but you can try to work with her and try to direct the water where it needs to be. And when there's too much comes down, hopefully you can direct it off the field, but in a way where you're still getting enough water on your soil. Well, it looks like we're going to wrap it up here for today. We lucked out on the weather. Storms were rolling in while we were working here a little bit ago, but it kind of blew around us. But they're calling for some rain tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully we don't get too much, but we got a fair amount done. All the topsoil got pushed off with the dozer and the pull type grader box behind the tractor. So that worked out real good. We got pretty much down to the clay is what you want. And like I said earlier, you want to push all the topsoil off, pushing in some of the clay into the washout. And once all that gets in there, we'll probably track it in, kind of pack that soil, and then go ahead and bring the topsoil back over and grade it off smooth. And then the disc will come in, disc it all up, and then they'll be planting in here within the next month or two. That's the plan.
Hey, Dad! Hey, Dad! Wake up, Dad! Dad! Wake up, Dad! Dad!
I love bulldozers.
Yeah, Mom said the washing machine's broken again, and you have to go fix it. Come on.
All right, I'm coming. Howdy, folks. So it's been about a week since we were out here working on this soil erosion project and trying to fix that washout. I took a walk back over here, and this field is right close to my house, so wanted to see what kind of progress they were making. And they got a lot done. So I'm standing right now where we had the topsoil all pushed up, and right where that excavator is if you follow this little draw, which it's tough to see, I'll try to point to it, all the way up through about right here is where that big washout started. So these guys got it all filled back in. Looks great. They topped it with the topsoil, got all that put back in place. I did not make it back over here. I ended up helping out another farmer friend of mine this past week. And we had some really nice weather on Thursday of this week. Today's Saturday. It was almost 80 degrees, sunny. We had a couple of days of that. Now it's back to, I just looked at the temperature when I left the house. It's 39. It's probably like 30-mile-an-hour winds. So I apologize if the audio is not great on here. I don't have my wireless mic hooked up at the moment. So I will try to filter that out during the editing process. But like I said, I just wanted to come over here and see what it's looking like. So along that tree line right there, they have a ditch that they cut in with the excavator, trying to get some of that water to go the right way. And then they're also going to put a catch basin somewhere right in this area. I'm not sure exactly where. And then they're going to try to keep that water underground, because that's how this problem started originally. Is, you know, a tile line gets plugged, something goes wrong underground, water comes up, has nowhere to go but across the surface, and then that's when your erosion starts. So, but yeah, it looks really good. What they got going on here is definitely a huge improvement. It should help. And then I know they found a couple other tile lines that were plugged up. They repaired those, and once they get everything tied back in, it should be in good shape. So looking good. I'll be curious to see how well it holds up. And we just got probably 2 inches of rain last night, and I'm not really seeing anything going on here right now. So I can tell, but these guys put in a lot of work, got this thing wrapped up. It looks great. I want to thank them for letting me spend a little bit of time on their dozer. I always enjoy that. It's been quite a few years since I've been on a big dozer like that. When I was in the military, I got to spend a fair amount of time on bulldozers, and then a couple different jobs I've had over the years. I spent my fair share of time on a bulldozer. Always enjoy running dozer, all that power at your fingertips. And this D6 that they have is a good running machine for sure. You can get a lot of work done with a machine like that. Yeah, I'm definitely fortunate. I got some friends that got some really cool equipment. And sometimes I get to plant my butt in the seat and help them out, and I get to run some cool stuff. So it's a win-win for everybody. I enjoy running heavy equipment, farm equipment. Something I always thought about doing when I was a little kid, and I got very lucky and got to operate quite a few different pieces of machinery over the course of my life. So enjoyed every bit of it, and hopefully I got a few more years to go where I can still operate some more stuff. So that's the plan anyway. I want to thank you for clicking on this video and watching it. I really appreciate that. If you like this type of content, I invite you to subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and if you are, I appreciate that. Give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know if you like seeing this type of stuff. I enjoy making it. We're getting ready to go full bore into farming season here, so I'm sure I'll bring you along and try to get some footage of whatever I get myself into. And you can also go back through my my videos. I got a few videos now, not a ton. I'm still a pretty young channel, but I got a couple videos on there, some different things I've done with equipment, and just kind of documenting my day-to-day life. And it's not super exciting, but sometimes I get myself into some pretty cool things, or at least I think so, and I know a few people out there think so as well. So share these videos with somebody you might know. With all that said, we'll see you on the next one. Take care.